Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? It is your boy Clay bringing you guys not a fun video today. We've got kind of an interesting issue that we got going on. If you guys watched the last video that I just posted on the Bloomington competition, and you guys watched the first clip, you guys obviously saw that I wasn't able to bring my Suburban to it because last night, I just got back from the event. It was a good time. It would have been a better time if I would have had my car, but I have something on my head. But I did not have it. So if you guys watched the beginning of the clip, I kind of explained what was going on. But this is going to be a video on the issue that I'm having, and to not only show you guys and keep you guys up to date, but to also show you guys how I go about trying to troubleshoot things like this. What's happening is not a very simple fix. It's not something there's no smoking gun, right? It was something that kind of randomly just started happening out of nowhere. And I have my system very organized, and I know how I set everything up. I use the highest quality RCAs. It sucks because I purposely try and provision for things like this so that they don't happen. But in this situation, it's not really my fault. I haven't done anything wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick video for you guys. Actually, I'll probably explain briefly a little bit about what's happening, and then I'll show you the video. But basically, last night we had a little base meet get together nearby. And obviously we had the show this morning. So last night was just going to be basically like a test run to make sure that everything's good. Wasn't going to go play it full tilt or anything and get anything hot or risk blowing anything. But that's what ended up happening. And it wasn't necessarily my fault, and I'll explain why. So what happened was I parked, got there earlier in the day. Actually, we'll start here. We'll start last week. I use the LF Audio wireless bass controller, right? A wireless knob. It's got a mids knob and it's got a highs knob, and I can control both knobs. And it's wireless, and I love it. It's my favorite part of my system when it's working. I've needed to send it in for repair a couple times just for little stuff. There hasn't really been anything catastrophic, like screen problems, just simple stuff. I've sent it in, they take care of it, send it back. So it kind of sucks while it's away, but it is what it is. It's kind of the price you pay when you use something really cool like that, like a wireless knob. So anyway, I know a lot of people rag on them, but I love mine. So anyways, last week, one of the screens on my knob stopped working. There's two screens on the 6-channel knob, which is the double knob, which is the one that I have. There's a screen in the middle that shows your voltage, and then there's a screen on the right. It's a smaller rectangular screen, and that's what shows your levels of what each knob is, right? So if you have your mids all the way up and your bass here, that's what it'll show, and if you roll your bass up, so it's just a display so that you know how high you are on the knob. Randomly, last week, that screen stopped working. The display turned off. I drove it and played it, drove to, I think, Raising Cane's to go get some dinner. Worked fine, parked it, turned the car off, got out, came back in, and ate. I parked it. Dog's running away. But actually, I may need to go chase my dog. Give me one sec. My freaking dog got out and ran away. My new dog. Her name's Ham. She's fat like a little ham, and she's small, so we call her Ham. But anyways, guys, so like I was saying, I don't know where exactly I left off, but I think I was talking about the bass knob. So last week, I sent it in for repair. The screen randomly stopped working. Not a big deal. It still worked. Like if I turned it up, I still got volume out of it, but the display stopped working, and I want to have the display. So immediately as it stopped working, I reached out to LF Audio. I sent them a message. I said, hey, this is the problem that I'm having. I took a picture. I sent it in, and I let them know that I'm going to be shipping it back to them. They responded to me. Told me, okay, sounds good. I let them know that I have a show coming up in a week. At the time, I think I said next weekend because that was a week ago. And they said, cool, we're going to try and get it back to you by then, fixed with the screen and everything. Sent it out. In the meantime, what I did is, instead of having the LF base, so when I send it in, the LF audio unit comes with the actual knob that you hold, and it comes with the base station, which is where all of the RCAs plug into, right? And which has the antennas and everything like that. So when you send it in, you send in the knob and you send in the base station. When you send in the base station, when you unplug it, you obviously have all these RCAs right here that used to go into this thing. You have all your RCAs in and all your RCAs out that go to your amps. What I do while all of these are here and I need to send the station away is I put a couple LC1s, which are just regular bass knobs, level controllers with the, RCAs in and RCAs out. I put 3 of these there so that I have it sucks because I can't use it in the car, but at least on the side of my wall, I have a knob for mids and highs and subs so that I can still play it. Worst case scenario, if I don't get it back in time for the show, I can still drive to the show and stand outside and give demos out by playing it on the side of the car. So played that. So for those couple days, 4 or 5 days while the knob was out, I played it off of those knobs and it was fine. No problems. I could turn it up however high, no problems at all. Anyways, fast forward. This is yesterday. I get the knob back. I think I got it back the night before. So the next morning I installed it, put it back in, went to test it. When I say test it, I just cracked up the mids and cracked up the bass so that there was a little bit of bass. I could hear that it was working. Awesome. I just did it in my driveway. I'm not really going to play it very loud. Figured everything was good, right? So everything was good. I get in the later in the evening, we had our little bass meetup, like I mentioned, and I head up there last night. And I give about 1 or 2 demos and, high up on the knob, like full tilt demos. And everything was fine. And then the 3rd or 4th demo, like at this point, guys, everything, like voltage is great. Usually I don't really have problems with any of that until I have to demo for a really long time. My voltage gets low and things get hot. My voltage was great. 15.8, 15.7. Amps were not hot. I'm wired at 1 ohm. Everything's very clean. Fans are on. Everything's cool. But randomly, I'm giving a demo out, and I notice, like, the subs just sound really weird. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, it sounds like it just died. And I had the lights on in the box. And immediately I looked back there, and I noticed that a lot of the subs were just barely moving, and then 2 of the subs were moving a bunch, like they were still playing. And immediately I'm like, oh my God, the amps, for some reason, some of the amps just cut off. So I go back really quick to check the amps, and I see that the amps are in Protect. So I'm like, what the hell? Why did I just have 3 amps going to Protect? My voltage is great. All these things I can't figure it out. Weird. So I'm panicking. I'm worried that the amps are stuck in Protect. I go back into the car, turn the car off, turn it back on. Luckily, they come out of Protect immediately. Like I said, they're not hot or anything, so I think that they're just signal protecting. They're not actually hardware protecting or thermal protecting. There's something weird is going on. That's what's happening, right? And I try it a couple more times, and I notice that it continuously does it. As soon as I get to about halfway on the knob, actually less than halfway, 3 of the amps will turn off, and that's it. And I have to turn the car off, turn it back on. It's really, really weird. I've never had it happen before. But like I said, the only thing that I've changed in the past month or 2 on the system is getting the LF unit back in the mail. So not speculating because I don't know, but I think that may, just because it's the only thing I've changed, it's got to be what is the problem. Anyways, weird. What I want to do is I want to make a quick video on showing you guys my process of elimination on how I handle problems like this that are not just simple, easy fixes. If my voltage was really bad and an amp was protecting, and that's one thing, I know that it's my voltage, but this is an interesting one. So what I did is I start writing stuff down, and I just go one by one, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this by just process of elimination. So let me show you guys. Actually, let me post the video explaining what happens and showing you guys. You know, I actually took a video of it protecting. So check this out, and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna look into first. See, here we are. All amps are good. Green, green. Green's across the board. Amps are cool. Not even been playing for an hour.
I know she a freak. I know that she freaking. I know she a freak.
Where's the knob? Roll this down. Show you what happens.
Do not try to run game on me. I'm not a
my watt meter.
This shit told me. She don't wanna be free no more. She don't wanna be free no more. She don't wanna be free no more.
Slowly start to turn it up.
She don't wanna be free no more. She don't wanna be free no more.
You just hear it die. Immediately dies. Watt meter goes back down. Turn it back down. And 3 amps in protect. This one's fine. Just like that, barely even half volume. Voltage is great. Turn it off, turn it back on. Everything's good again. All right, so now that you guys have seen it, pretty weird, right? It's like clockwork. I could go do that again right now and it would do the exact same thing. It's just does it as soon as I start to get into any bass at all, the bottom 3 amps just shut off. And then I turn it off, turn the car back on, and they come back on. So anyways, let me show you guys what we got written down and how we are gonna go about this and why I think I know where to start. So guys, this is my plan here, right? So I try to do this whenever, most time if I ever have problems, it's pretty simple. I know what it is, but this is an interesting one. So write down my problem, 3 amps are randomly protecting. First thing, so what I'm gonna do, I write down 3 different main things that could cause your amp to go into protect. Number 1, ohm load. If you wire your amps too low, or if you have a blown sub or something like that, and your ohm load is thrown off, your amps can definitely protect. Now, I know that this is not the case. I immediately ohmed out all of the amps. They are all reading 1 ohm. I know that this is not the case, so we can mark ohm load off on the list. Next up is the voltage. Voltage we can also mark off on the list because my voltage is 15.8 and 15.7. So I know that the amps are not seeing less than that. I tested everything. It is not a voltage and it's not an ohm load. After that, what comes next is a signal, a bad signal. And this is what I believe is going to be the problem here. The only problem with this is there are multiple places, multiple things that put out signal before the amps. So the amps are the very last thing to get signal after all of these things, right? Sorry. So the very first part of my system, I do not use a radio anymore. I use a Bluetooth receiver. This is what feeds my signal into my DSP. I am going to, it could be this, of course, but I'm going to take a wild guess that it is not this, because if this was the problem, then all of my amps would be protecting, not just 3 like you saw in the video, because the Bluetooth receiver only has 1 set of outputs, so it would be impossible. But I do have a backup receiver that I can try. If none of the rest of this stuff works, I will try that out. But for now, we can safe to say that it's not that, just based off the fact that everything else still plays. If it was that, my mids wouldn't work and all of my amps would shut off. And so we could safe to say that it's not that. So the very next thing that it could be is my DSP. So I run a Helix DSP. I've been using it now for a couple months, and it has been awesome. I've had absolutely no problems. I run my mids through it. I run my subs through it, everything. But this could definitely be the problem. I have a backup DSP that I am going to try instead if it's not one of these two things. But I would guess that it's not that because, like I said, very similar thought process with the Bluetooth receiver. If it was my Helix DSP, it wouldn't be just turning off 3 of my amps. It would be turning off all 4. So it's safe to say that it's probably not this. So we're going to mark this off. The next on the list is the LF audio. Like I was telling you guys earlier, this is the most recent thing that I have changed and actually just put in the morning that I started having problems. So is it possible that this, when it was getting repaired, maybe the mail dropped it and something got shorted inside of it? It's very possible. Yes, this is what my brain immediately went to. Now, with that being said, this is the first thing that I am going to, try and mark off the list. What I'm going to do is, like I explained before, I had those 3 LC1s, just knobs, instead of the LF that were working perfectly fine while the LF was out getting repaired. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put those 3 LC1 knobs back in place instead of the LF and go test it. If I test it and it is still continuing to turn off, I will know that it probably isn't the LF audio, which means that it needs to be something else. That is going to be the very first thing that I try. I'm probably going to try that probably right after I film this video. So this is going to be, right now, this is number 1 in terms of what I think could probably be the problem. But you never know. I may go try it and it may still be having problems, even with the LC1s, and then maybe it's not this. So I don't want to speculate, but it just seems like the chances that I put it in that morning and I start having problems immediately, weird. But I've ran this thing for months now, and it's been fantastic. The very last thing before the amps themselves is the ZVL. So if you're not familiar with a ZVL, it's a product by DD Audio. And what it is it is basically a little box where it is basically a master amp for for Korean amps, right? So if you have a Brazilian amp, they don't really do much, but for a Korean amp, what it is it's a little box that can actually be your master amp. So what you do is you put all of your amps in slave mode, all of your bass amps in slave mode, and you connect RCAs all into all your amps from this ZVL. And the ZVL has a gain knob on it. So what you do is you turn up the gain on the ZVL, and it turns up all the amps and turns down all the amps, so you don't have to gain match. It's very, very nice. I've ran this now in my last 2 builds with the 410Ks that I have right now, and it has been awesome. However, after talking with people, there have been many of these ZVLs that have had issues, and these ZVLs do go bad. So I'm definitely not marking this out of the conversation. It could definitely be the ZVL. That is going to be the second thing that I test, because I think that it's probably the LF to start, but if it's not the LF, I'm guessing that it's probably the ZVL. And then obviously then from there, your RCAs end at your amps, and the amps are where I'm having problems. So this is my plan, guys. I'm going to start with testing the LF. I'm going to take the LF out, go put the LC1s in, see if it still has the same problem. If that's the case, what I'm going to do in order to test the ZVL and actually test the amps in a way. Every time I've tried it, I've showed, like you guys saw in the video, the 3 amps that are protecting are the bottom 3. I have 3 that are stacked, and then I have 1 up on the top. So far, every time, it's the bottom 3 amps that are protecting. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to switch around a couple of the RCAs that go from the ZVL to the amps. And what I'm going to do, for example, is I'm just going to switch, instead of what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one of the RCAs that's going into the one of the three that keeps protecting, and I'm going to put one of those into the top amp instead. And I'm going to go test it. And if now the top one protects instead, I'll know that the amps are fine. And it's not the amps. It's just, it's either the LF or the ZVL. So that is my thought process for now. I will get back and report with you guys and show you guys what's happening. I believe what I'm going to do is, in the meantime, I'm going to still send my LF back in so that they can look at it, just because I do have other means of knobs in the meantime and that I can test with. So I'm going to send the LF back in, have them just double check everything to make sure that it's good. And then while that's out, I'm going to continue my testing. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything, guys. I will update you and let you guys know. Maybe I'll even show you guys another video of when I go test it later to see if the other knobs are still causing it. But this is what you got to do, guys. You got to just go one by one and figure out what the problem could be. And we'll get down to it at the end of the day. But it's definitely going to be either the LF or the ZVL or possibly the DSP. I just don't know, but I'm definitely going to go 1, 2, and I do have a backup DSP that I can test instead of the Helix. So we're going to go LF, ZVL, then the Helix. And I actually have a backup Bluetooth receiver as well. So I guess I can test that as well. I don't think we're going to need to get to it though, because like I said, if the receiver was bad, all of the amps would be protecting, not just 3 of them. So my guess is that it's going to be here, but I will let you guys know how it goes and update you guys as it goes on. Obviously, it sucks that this happened right before the show that I was supposed to bring it to today. But it is what it is. I'm actually, in a way, I'm kind of glad, because it would have just happened as soon as I got to the show this morning. I would have brought my canopy and all the stuff and set up, and then it would have fucked up, and I would have then been screwed for the rest of the day. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that it happened last night and I didn't waste my time today. So anyways, I still had to go. I drove my daily because I needed to get points for finals for Base Wars. So I still had to go, but I definitely got better gas mileage driving in my daily than I did in the Suburban. But so yeah, trying to look at things on the bright side, and we will go from there, and I will update you guys. So see you in a sec. All right, guys, it is the next day, and we are going to get to the bottom of this thing. So like I was saying before, the first step is going to be pulling the LF out and putting in the LC1s. I have now done that. So this is originally where the base station goes, and all of these RCAs go in and go out. And then you have the wireless that connects to it. So this is the version of that. If you don't have a wireless knob, you can just run LC1s and have a knob for mids, tweets, and then bass. So that's what we got here. This is, and the reason I'm doing this is because obviously, 1, this is a good way to test to see if the LF is the problem or not. But 2, I ran it like this for a week straight while the LF was getting repaired, and I had absolutely no issues. I could turn it up all the way. So this is going to be how we're going to do it. So let me show you guys the amps back here. Show you guys that we're starting with all green amps. So on, and sorry, the light's hard to see on that one. On, nothing is in protect. Everything is all good. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if it still does it. And if it doesn't, we know that it has something to do with the LF. And if it does, we know that it's something else. So let me play something random here. It's a good one, just 25 to okay. I'm not going to play the mids super loud, but we are going to watch this watt meter. I know that it's an LED screen, so it's not going to show up good, but we'll turn the mids up a little bit, and we'll just start turning up the bass, and we'll see if it protects. Yep, look at that. Just died. Wow, it did it again. All right, so maybe it's not the LF. Come over here, and what do you know? Protect, protect, and protect, and top one's good. Crazy. Well, that's crazy. I thought that is what was gonna be it, but obviously, guys, it is not. It is something else. So let me turn this off and turn the amps back on. Make sure they come out of protect, which they should. Hopefully. That would suck really bad if they didn't. Yep, green's across the board. So still getting bad signal even without the LF. So maybe it was just a crazy coincidence on timing. So now we're gonna move to the next step. Next thing that I'm gonna try, guys, the next culprit that I believe it probably is the ZVL. This is what I was explaining to you yesterday. This is what I am thinking is doing it. So I think that maybe one of these RCAs in here could be bad. I don't know, but what I want to check is a good way to check to make sure that the amps are good. I think they are, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change I'm just going to swap these two. For example, these two RCAs. And then if this one protects, I then know that it's somehow coming out of the ZVL and it's not the amps, because this one hasn't protected at all yet. And if I change the RCA and all of a sudden it protects, I know that it's the signal that's coming into the amps. This is basically just a test to make sure that the amps are okay. All right, guys, I have now swapped this RCA with this RCA, and let's fire it up. Let's just make sure that everything, of course, is on so that we know we have a fair test here. Green. That one's hard to see, but green. All right, let's do it again. Now, what we're hoping for, guys, if you aren't following along, is we're hoping for now this amp will protect and this one will not. So let's find out. If it's not, if these three still protect, then we know that everything coming out of here is fine, and maybe it's something in the way that we have something wired. So let's check it out. We are going to come back here. We're gonna hit play. We should be playing. Let's see. Yep. And let's just start rolling in the bass. There it goes. Turned off again. But let's see what we got here. Interesting, guys. The top amp is good, but these three are still protecting. Very interesting. Now, what does this mean? Let me turn this off. Let me turn this off. This is very interesting. So, that is going to tell us that it's not the ZVL, because if it was, this amp would be protecting now and this one would be fine. So that means that we have something that is, for some reason, these three amps specifically are turning off. The remotes look good. Everything looks good. So that's very, very interesting. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and we're just gonna keep going down the list. So it's not the ZVL, because I hope you guys are following. If it was the ZVL that was doing this, that amp would be protected now, right? Because I switched the RCAs. But this one has stayed good. So very interesting. We're gonna have to try and figure out why it's doing that, and maybe keep going down the list. DSP will be the next test. So unless I can find something else in the meantime, but I'll keep you guys along for the ride. All right, guys, it's been a little bit. I've done a couple things. I have, instead of running, obviously if a ZVL, you only need one input or one output, and into each amp. I only had, not single channel RCAs. I only had 2-channel RCAs, so I just plugged them in. I tried maybe just unplugging it and seeing if it works, but it still does it. The next thing that I decided to do was I noticed that the remote out on my ZVL wasn't really connected very well, and that is what turns on all of my amps. So what I did instead is just I hooked the remote for the amps straight to the battery. So now they are just on constantly. So basically this test is just gonna make sure that I don't have a remote problem. It's just a hunch that I have. So we're gonna try that now. And now all the amps are on, obviously, because they're hooked straight to the battery. And we're gonna play it, and who knows, maybe this will do it. Let's see. Let me get this connected. Hold up. Nope. Nope, did it again. Let's make sure. Yep, protect, and top one still fine. So that wasn't it. On to the next. So the next thing that I'm gonna test, just to be sure, is I wanna make sure that, so now we know so far that it doesn't look like it's a remote issue. It doesn't look like it's an RCA issue, because we've switched the RCAs on the ZVL, and it's still protecting the same 3 amps. So maybe it's a sub problem, even though they all ohm out. They all read 1 ohm at the amps. I've already checked that multiple times. Maybe something is throwing it off. So what I'm gonna do is I want to try and play it with the subs not hooked up. I can obviously unhook that over here. I can unhook the subs here, but the way that the amp rack is set up, these ones are kind of hard to get to, and I have to use a really small Allen, and it just takes a long time. So it's actually easier on this build for me to just unhook the leads from here. I just pop these off and tape them off, and the amps will now have no load from the speaker. So I brought a couple wrenches and some sockets, and I'm going to take the bolts out, tape them off, zip tie them to the side, and we're gonna try it again and see if it does it even with the subs not hooked up. If it still does it, it's looking like maybe the amps got hurt from something, and they're just gonna do it no matter what, which would be really unfortunate, but we just gotta figure it out. So let's get these taken off. All right, guys, as you can see, we now have all of the leads that go to the amps unhooked. 1 amp, 2 amp, 3 amp, 4 amp. I've taped off the positive just so that while I'm testing, nothing touches. And I've zip tied each pair together so that I know when I go to hook them back up, which one is which. So now the amps have no load on them whatsoever. Sorry guys, I'm doing this on the side of the road here because I need to be able to make a little bit of noise, and I can't do it in my neighborhood. So I just drove kind of down the street. But yeah, so now nothing is hooked up here at all. So let's try it again and see if it still does it. Obviously this time when we do it, there's everything's good right now. Obviously this time when we do it, there's gonna be no sound because there's no subs hooked up, but I should still be able to turn it up and see if it protects. So let's go back a little bit here. So let's just start going. It went up all the way. Let's see. Everything is still good. So maybe it is something on the sub side. I'm gonna test it again one more time. But yeah, it's full volume. On the freeway, still hanging my pants like I woke up, it was time to get that bag right. The only time I feel good is when the stash right. I'm still riding through the hood, running It's full tilt right now, at least on the signal side. Yeah, it's clipping, so it's playing, but these amps are not protecting. They're clipping. So that's it, guys. It's something on the sub side. So let me come over here and turn this down. Turn the bass knob down so we stop clipping. But guys, that is good news. They're no longer protecting. So maybe it's something on the sub side. I do have a sub that's making some noise. And maybe it's what's throwing it off. So that's interesting. Very interesting. I'll get back with you guys in a sec. All right, you guys. Forgive me if I seem tired, but I've been battling this all day. So, where we left off is we had all of the subs unplugged. And that was about, I don't know, 1 o'clock. And it's about 6 or 7 now. And I figured it out. So we're going to show you guys what it is. But this really is trial and error. Like, this shit takes a lot of time. So, and I wired this whole thing. So I would be the best one with the best chance to figure out what's wrong with it. But anyways, we figured it out. Where we left off is I showed you guys that I unplugged all the subs and played it, and it worked fine. Nothing protected. I went full tilt, and like I got the amps up to clipping, which they were protecting way before clipping before. So we left off with knowing that it was something that had to do with the subs. Now, if we go back to the beginning of the video in the checklist, I made the mistake because I didn't know. I figured that if everything ohms out, that means that everything's fine. And I now know that may not be true. So I need to not cross that off the list immediately. I was for sure that it was something that had to do with signal and RCAs, and it wasn't. It was a sub problem the whole time. There's a pair of subs. One of these pairs of subs in here there's one that's making noise. I'm guessing it's that one, but something in there, one pair of these is causing a bad signal to be sent to the amp, and it's protecting the other ones. Why it's only protecting 3 of them and not all 4, I don't know. I've talked to some really knowledgeable people, and they just say that electronics and things are weird like that, and I don't know the exact explanation, but that's what it is. So let me show you guys how we came to this conclusion. So when I showed you guys in the previous clip, I had all of these pulled off, all of the pairs pulled off and laid down, and played it just fine. So I then knew that one of these pairs, whatever subs these are hooked up to, was sending a bad signal. So what I then did, I didn't film all this because it was just taking too long, and this video was going to be an hour, and I just didn't want to deal with it, and I was more focused on getting it done. I was on the phone with people helping me out. Shout out to Josh McDonough. Really big, helped me out. He sat with me on FaceTime while we figured this out. But anyways, guys, I basically just went one by one by one by one, and started just unhooking each one. Unhooking it, taping it off, testing it. Protect. Put it back on. Took this one off. Played it again. Protect. Took this one off, left all the other ones plugged in, protect. Then put that one back on, took this one off, left all the other ones, protect. Put it back on, move to the next one, take this pair off, play it, protect. And finally, when I got to the last one, when I thought all hope was gone, I pulled this pair off with these 3 on, went to play it, no protect. So that told me right there that this pair, sub 4 and sub 8, which I don't know which subs they are on the box, but I'll figure it out. Something with this pair is causing it. And just to be sure, what I did is I hooked them back up again. I hooked these back up again and went to play it, and it protected again. So just for good measure, I unhooked it again, went and played it full tilt, and no more protection. So something between sub 4 and sub 8 in the box. I don't know. I'm guessing 8 is the one that is blown and it's causing a problem, because 8 is the one that's in the back of the box, and that's what sounds like it's making noise. But I was losing my mind because everything ohms out. Everything has been at 1 ohm the whole time. It still ohms out at 1 ohm. I don't have my meter here, but I thought that if something was blown, it wouldn't be ohming out. So I just skipped right over that, and I tried to chase down RCAs and all this stuff, when really it was just a bad pair of subs. So like I said, guys, I unhooked this. I can even show you guys right now. I'll fire it up with this unhooked, and I can turn it up and no protection. So let me do that to show you guys. So if you guys at home, you know, you guys probably don't care, but just to ease your mind so that you guys can see that we no longer have protection, I'll do it. Can't really do it for very long because there's a lot of people in this parking lot, and but I'll give you a good 10 seconds of turn that down to show you guys that we figured it out. So obviously it's not really very good to play only 6 of your subs if there's 8 in there, but I'm not playing it super hard. What I'm not looking forward to is needing to now pull these subs and get to the back one, but done it before, I'll do it again. But let me turn down the mids here so I don't blow all these people out. But let me play something really quick. Also switched out my iPad for a Samsung tablet, just because I was getting really tired of needing to use iTunes to download music, and I'll never go back. It's night and day. So let me find something here that's higher frequency so I don't hurt the subs even more by having to move too much. Here we go. DJ Dirty Bass. Let me make sure this is up. So let me show you guys. I'm gonna get copyrighted. I'm gonna turn that down. But let me show you guys really quick before I hit it. All the amps are good. Green, 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 green. Let's see, where is it? This amp here is the one that had the problem, so I do not have that amp hooked up to anything. Actually, this is wrong. This should be here. I don't know how I fucked that one up. Tighten that down. But as you guys can see, this is the amp that had that bad pair on it. So I just have it unhooked for now. That way it's not trying to work. And it's obviously unhooked on the amp side, unhooked on the ZVL side. But let's show you guys. Greens across the board. And as you guys saw before, it didn't really take long for it to start protecting. So let me show you guys. All right, here we go, guys. Let's make this quick. These cats don't forgot what work is. They don't know. So goddamn, we fucking hammered on it pretty goddamn good right there, guys. And we're green all across the board. And that is with sub 4 and 8 unhooked. So that was our culprit the whole entire time. So I'm gonna get home really quick, and we'll sit down and talk about my final findings and wrap this up. But glad that we figured it out. All right, guys, back home. What a day it has been. Definitely sunburnt, top of my head, neck. It's been a day. But we accomplished what we were looking to accomplish. We needed to figure out what it was. So let's go over what we learned and what we were wrong about, and what we could do next time, I guess. So here's our list that we started with at the beginning of the video. My first mistake was thinking that the ohm load meant that everything is fine. So I learned this today. I had to call a bunch of, really smart people, and you learn something every day. But I learned today that even though your subs ohm out correctly and they read whatever they're supposed to read, it doesn't mean that there isn't something catastrophically wrong. I thought that for sure, if there was a dead short or the coil is messed up, I thought that it could not ohm out correctly. God, you can see my bald head in the reflection. I thought there's no way that as soon as everything ohmed out right, I was like, there's no way that it's on the sub side. It can't be. And that's where I messed up. So I totally thought that this was the only thing that I had to worry about. But what I should have done is I should have just unplugged the subs from the start. But because I would have known, I would have seen immediately that with the subs unplugged, if the amps had no load on them, no protection. I just went off the ohm load. So obviously skipped over voltage. That wasn't a problem. And I jumped into all of this RCA stuff. And it's good that I did it. I mean, it was good to test everything, but it was none of these things. So even though at the beginning of this video, I thought it was for sure going to be the LF just because it was just too much of a coincidence. I literally put it in that morning, and that morning I have 3 amps protect. It just seemed like that had to be it. But I guess the world works in mysterious ways, and always, that's why you always test everything. I actually dropped off my LF audio to get repaired again. I was up at the Bloomington show. If you haven't watched that video yet, I just posted it yesterday. Check that one out. I had to go up there to get points anyway. While I was headed up there, I met up with somebody that's very close to the guy that's very close with Marius, who's the head of LF audio. And I told him the problems I was having. He said that it sounded like it was probably that. So I gave it to him to have him brought in for repair. I messaged him back today and said, hey, you know what, man? I was wrong. It was something else. I thought that it could be the ZVL. ZVL is all good. Everything now is the Helix is good. I'm glad I didn't get into that debacle too much. I was able to figure it out. And I knew it wasn't going to be the Bluetooth receiver, but I really thought that it was going to be the LF or the ZVL, and it ended up not even being an RCA thing. It ended up being an amp or a sub, something on the sub side. So now, obviously, I need to crawl into the box and pull a sub, find which sub is blown, figure out what's wrong with it. I'm really interested to see how bad it's failed, and I'm curious to see the coil and see what's causing this problem. Some of the questions that I still have is, why would only one pair of subs be making 3 amps protect and not just one? And why not protect all of them if it's going to protect more than one? Why would it only do 3 out of the 4? I don't know. I know that I'm sure it has something to do with the ZVL and how they're all technically strapped together. It was probably trying to tell the other amps to protect as well, just to kind of try and be a safety. But I don't know why the 4th one wouldn't, and it was only those 3. It's interesting. So that's something. But anyways, guys, I'm glad that we figured it out. I'm super stoked. Obviously, I'm not stoked to have to pull a bunch of subs out. But there's some stuff that I wanted to do to the enclosure while we're in there. I need to do some port work, some rear port work, and it's some stuff that I can't do if the subs aren't out. So I've been looking forward not looking forward to having to pull them out the next time, but something else I could do while they're out. So I got to pull the subs out. I think it's the one in the far back that's making the noise that's causing this, which sucks. It's always the one in the far back, it seems like. Not every time. But it's just, part of the game. So anyways, not looking forward to that, but I'm really glad that we figured this out. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video. I know it's long, I'm sorry, but I wanted to bring you guys through the process that, I go through when I have problems like this. It's long. It really is long. And shout out to Josh for helping me, and he talked to me on the phone for a while and help me walk through this, because it got confusing when I'm unhooking one subs and amps, and it's a lot. So but I learned a lot today. I've only been doing this for about 2 years now. I don't know if you guys could probably watch my oldest video on here, maybe 3 years now, 2.5 years. But I jumped into this really quick. I love this hobby. It's really fun. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys liked the video or not. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you guys watch the videos, please do. It helps me out, and it helps, it helps me know that people are enjoying it, and not just watching it for whatever. But sounds good. All right, you guys. Well, I'll talk to you in the next one. I got some subs to pull, so I'll catch you guys later.